All right, we are going to get started right now. I know how to hit buttons. Oh, look, the camera's working here on YouTube. What? Um, Hello, everybody. I must apologize to anybody who showed up last Tuesday and I was not here. All right, I apologize because there was a live show planned, but what ended up happening was with the patch and everything, it got too hectic. There was just a lot of stuff to have to process and look through, and I wasn't expecting economy changes. So Tuesdays just aren't going to work out. And I was figuring that, but I was going to try. But then I realized I don't know how to tell the YouTube cubes that I won't be here. On Discord, where you should be, I can explain it. On Twitter, where you should be, I can explain it there too. But for the most part, I don't know if there's something here. This is all new to me, so I looked around a little bit. I thought there was something, but I couldn't find it. Because I've seen it like posted when I'm just looking at YouTube, but I can't find it for me. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you have to be partnered or something. Just not sure. But for the most part, I apologize, but Tuesdays aren't going to work out. But that solidifies the schedule. Monday and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will have live shows here. They'll go about 2 hours max, and then that's it. So, yeah, that's the future of YouTube right now for Guild Wars 2. We won't always do Guild Wars 2. I will in February, I will be adjusting things and seeing what I want to do here as well. And then once I get some personal things done, maybe I can start editing some videos and posting them here more frequently and still doing the Twitch thing. Speaking of Twitch, we have been over on Twitch. We're on a stream streak here on YouTube and Twitch. I have not missed a day of streaming in a while now, and had a lot of bonus shows over on Twitch on the weekends and stuff. We're doing Final Fantasy 12 and Stardew Valley over there. But this week, it is all Final Fantasy 12. So starting tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday will be all Final Fantasy 12. And it'll be great. We may do something on the weekends still. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. Going into February, it's going to be an interesting thing. But Thursday, here, we will be talking about Burnout, the veterans, why are veterans the way they are, things like that. I think that's everything. Before we jump into the game here, I think that's everything. Anything else? I'm missing something, I'm sure. But moment of silence. Let me recollect my thoughts. We're going to talk economy. We're going to talk Dragon Response missions today, and we're going to talk about just the patch and what I do, and then if you miss anything in there, that kind of stuff. I'll talk about what I did last Tuesday. I haven't really gone back and done any Dragon Response missions since last Tuesday. I did it with some guildies over on Twitch, and then I came over here today, and I'm going to be doing some as well. Just going into the public and seeing what that's like. I will do probably the last Dragon Response mission first, and we'll see how that goes, and then I may do another one. But the first two can be very hit and miss. I know that. So, Midian, happy Monday to you. There it is. Boom. Happy Monday. There was something else. On the gym store. Let's bring up the game. So I can show you. So, on the patch last Tuesday, there's some stuff on the gym store here. We're going to grab it. Let me get in game. So, every once in a while in the gym store, ArenaNet promotes themselves by giving free things. And there were some dies that were released. Now, if you're a free-to-play player, you won't be able to do much except grab them, but you get them for free. So you might get something nice there. So we're here in the Eye of the North, where we need to be. So first things first, free item available. And those are dies. There's a Jormag and a Primordius die, and it actually shows you the preview of what you can get. I think I have all of the Jormag, not all the Primordius, but they are free. You can gift them to other accounts. If you have alt accounts, you can give them to your main if you want. And then the preview button. Check this out. Do I have all of these? Yeah, I have all the best dyes from these. But you can get some other dyes. It's free, though. That's my point. They usually cost 125 gems a piece. So I'm just going to grab them by doing that. And then doing that. But in general, if you're watching this video at some other point, go ahead and give this a like. And... and I appreciate it. But no, if you're watching this video later, make sure you check the gem store often when you log into the game and see if there's a little gift on the top left. So right above me here, top left, see if there's that gift. And make sure you grab your free stuff. It's free. And then if you have a main account, see if you can gift it over, or, you know, if you want it on your alt account, things like that. So with that out of the way, we got these. Might as well just open them, see what I get. Nothing special. Some Winterfrost dye banana. These aren't bad base dyes, by the way. But there they are. So, the next thing I want to immediately jump into from the gym store. I'm trying to think if there's something else. We won't know until tomorrow. Tuesdays are where they release things. So, I'm going to actually break these down for complexity and things like that. So, the next thing I want to talk about is the economy a little bit. So, they did patch the economy. It still frustrates me because I think they should have done it November last year. I think, so in my opinion, ArenaNet needs to change how they patch things. There needs to be a competitive patch where it's all on its own, it's competitive stuff, and they fix things. There needs to be an economy patch that happens at least every 6 months to adjust things. That's all on its own, and then there's the event stuff. So whether it's DRMs, living story, whatever, I think those should always be separate and give us time. Binary, hello. But ArenaNet tends to just surprise us with these things, and I wish they would stop doing that and give us time to process, especially when it comes towards the end of the year where people are trying to like get their accounts together and their alt stuff and things like that. It would have been nice to see the economy change November of last year. No, it just didn't happen. Is it worth it to salvage to try to re-roll in the Forge for dies? I have no idea, Chaz, but that's a good question. I will never know. Because I usually just break down any die that's less than a silver, sell anything that's over 2 silver, and decide on the other ones, kind of thing. So, if I don't have it, I use it, and if it's worth over a gold, I usually keep it for giveaways. Myself. I give them away to people because they're expensive, type of thing. But anyways, I wanted to talk about the economy. First, let's talk Watchwork Sprockets. Now, so what ArenaNet did was release a bunch of account-bound things out into the open. If they were already account-bound, they still are. So it doesn't change what you already have, pretty much. But when you acquire something, now you may be able to sell it because it's no longer account-bound. There is a list over in the patch notes. I highly suggest go over to the forums, get the game release stuff, and go read it. All right? I'm not going to sit here and just, oh, this is what they changed, because the list is bigger than the list that they show you. There's a lot of things that have been released. There's a lot of recipes around celestial armor. There's a lot of recipes or food that wasn't sellable, now is, and now has value. But what I was worried about is that they also reduced recipes. Now, they killed freshwater pearls, which is one of my biggest gripes here, in value, because they decided to not only nerf the recipe, but nerf it pretty hard when it came to the amount of freshwater pearls. So they went from somewhere around 5 to 10 gold at whatever time, all the way under a gold. Now, the thing was, when I saw them adjust the recipes for sprockets and things like that, you now need half the sprockets to get the same material. I was expecting there to be a bigger dip than there was. I was pretty mad about it too, because this is the stuff I farmed. They nerfed everything that I farmed. But we went through the recipes. When I say we, mean some other people who watch the economy a little bit closer. We went to the recipes, we realized that some people don't even realize they can sell some of this stuff now. And it's quite profitable. But ArenaNet did do their due diligence, and the reason they cut those recipes down is because some of the recipes that were also released, they require the same materials. So what they were doing was they were nerfing one side while buffing another. We cannot see the buff side until you go and look for that stuff. Now, again, I could list out all the things they buffed or whatever, but it's to my advantage as a veteran not to tell you. But I am going to tell you that the reason why sprockets didn't fall on their face is because something else used sprockets. And I don't remember what that is because that's not what's important to me. I sell base products. And so my base product is getting Watchworks sprockets and selling them. So the reason why that is up there is to show you that the price really hasn't changed at all. It's sitting where it was. And I'm actually amazed, but at the same time, understand that the demand went up and met the supply. Now, if we go to quartz crystal. So quartz crystal was also nerfed in its recipes. The problem is, quartz crystal is already limited. The demand is actually met on the supply side because you can only get so many quartz crystal in a day. Now you can open Winter's Day gifts and get it there and things like that, but those are surges of quartz crystal, and there's extra nodes when the Labyrinthine Cliffs comes by, that event, the Festival of the Four Winds, there we go. When that comes by, we get another surge, and supply goes up. But usually there's also a demand there, there's some item or whatever it is. So what amazed me is that quartz crystal also didn't drop. But then I realized the reason why it's not dropping is because people need charged quartz crystal for some of the recipes, like the celestial recipes. And so therefore they're using 25 quartz at a time per day per person doing it to get their charged quartz. The quartz didn't go down. So I went from being just pissed off at ArenaNet to nicely done. Nicely done. I am surprised that... Now, we're not done, but I'm actually surprised that ArenaNet was able to have the foresight, because in the past they would change something and... Now, let's talk about another thing. So, one of the things that I still don't agree with, but however has, you know... Hello? Uh-oh. We're in a loop! Hold on. There's a way to do this. Did the trading post just crash? It did! Okay, it's back. Okay. Sometimes, man. Sometimes. Let's just look it up directly. It's in my favorites, too, so I was going to go through that. Maguma lilies have crashed in their price. Alright? But the thing is, Maguma lilies... The one change I didn't like, so if they changed the recipe, it would be one thing, but they changed the drop rate. The drop rate has increased by a bit, comparatively. If they increased the drop rate of Maguma lilies the same for precursors, people would give them precursors all over the place, okay? That's how big of a change it was. But Maguma lilies do only come from one node, and that's jungle plants. So the thing is, you just don't get them willy-nilly. Precursors can drop from almost anything. So you can get them from a bag, a champ bag, all this sorts of stuff. That's why the drop rate is like 0.6575, whatever it is now. Maguma lilies, however, weren't. They were sitting pretty high, 7, 8 gold, and they've dropped down to less than 2. However, they did even back out before going underneath the gold. And since those other recipes came out, my biggest complaint about freshwater pearls is a little more moot because they did rise back over a gold. So there was something that was going on here. Now they have fallen back down, and then the reason why they're sitting at this price compared to Maguma lilies is, again, their recipe was nerfed. I think they should have changed the recipe back and see if it evened back out. So gave the same drop rate, changed the recipe back, and see if it ended up at a gold and a half. Because I do think this armor, whatever, those stats are a little more prestigious than just go grab them. Now, is it still expensive? Yeah, it's going to cost you 50 gold to get all the freshwater pearls you need. As far as I know, I think it's like 45 or something like that for your set of armor. But, you know, it's not armor you should be getting easily anyways, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the casual community, absolutely, it should be cheap. All the cheapness. Don't get me wrong. I mean, as a veteran, I'm looking at profits, right? I'm the greedy guy. But as a new player coming in, do I want it as cheap as possible for you? Sure. I mean, why not? The king of casuals here, just saying, like, when it comes to casual stuff, give it to me, right? But without a bit of challenge, without the work, I mean, there would be no value to anything, right? So, but Just throwing that out there. Now, the big change, which I absolutely love, is that they remove the account bound on some of the best food in the game. Beef rendang, the island pudding. What else? The bowls of... I can't sell this stuff. I've just been holding on to it. Avocado smoothies are no longer account bound. Now, when you look these up, prickly pear pie, I don't remember if that was account bound or not. We're going to find out. So some of this stuff doesn't even have a lot of sell orders comparatively to other things. People want this at 25 copper. Someone selling down here. I don't know if people buy this. 100 expertise, 33% chance. Sure. I'm going to put this up at like 550 as the price comes down eventually, but I still want it to sell, right? So I can do that. The beef rendang, however, is a raid food, okay? And, well, top tier food just in general for all sorts of things for certain builds, right? So you're talking about that 100 condition damage, 70 expertise, right? Last 30 minutes, it's a really good food. I still have 15 that are account bound, so I'm not going to hold on to these right now. And I get these for free because I have that Black Lion gym store item that mails me the thing that I completely am missing the name. But that's not the important part. The important part to know is that some of the food you may be getting or can make, you have the recipes and stuff, is worth money. 31 silver and 16 copper for this quick sell. You could definitely sell a lot higher than that because I already have. I was selling them at 38 silver. Whoa, that's 28. How about you calm down? 38 silver. I'm just going to put 38 here. And that's a really good price. That's a good chunk of change in my pocket. Now, the reason why I'm not afraid of 15 plates of beef rendang here is because I can make it last 2 hours. So 3 times longer in a sense than usual. So there you go. I don't know how to multiply time. An extra hour and a half per. So 15 of them is... So if I use these and then eat this, it's like consuming only 1 for 4. Alright, so I save 3, which saves me a gold. Which right now, that's actually profitable. Well, profitable that I don't have to spend the money for. But that's not the only food. I haven't looked up the Ultra Satay at all. Haven't looked that up. But I highly suggest, as I've always suggested, this is right here, 30, yes, 30 silver. Look at that. I highly suggest looking up some food. You may have a count bound. Avocado smoothies. Avocado smoothies. Avocado? Yeah. There you go. 17 silver isn't too bad. It's coming down. You got to look at the buy order and the sell order. Right now, there isn't a lot of knowledge, so the demand might not be there, but there is some knowledge, so you're going to have people buying pretty high. 7 silver for 1 piece of food is pretty high comparatively to what most people want to pay for it. But when you get into that 30 silver range, that means it's really high demand. The demand may not be there, or there's a lot of supply coming into the game for whatever reason. So, that's just it. Now, if you're like, how can I look this stuff up a little bit better? Food effects, right? So, if I look through here, there's avocado stuff going on and that kind of thing. Let me remove that. And you can see food effects. What's the feast? The pots, of course, are going to be a gold. There's some other things that will reach up there. Also, there's weird things in there, like the Light of Deldrimor plate bottom half. It's to make a key so you can open the place and do those type of things, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to look in here. Candy cactus cornbread? What? Really, this price? That must be one of the things that's no longer account bound. You can tell because when you click on it, there's just no orders, right? Plate of Muscles Gnash Blade. Trying to get out of the feast. I guess I could just do fine, but... Spicy Herb Chicken? Let's give me. Under toughness, 70 power. Interesting. What else we got? What else we got? Prickly pear stuffed Nepal? As a Nopal? I don't know how to say that. Yeah. Just isn't out there. Maybe somebody will buy it. No demand. All supply. Who knows? But just look it up. You may have something really good. Bowl of curry mussel soup. Some for 4 gold down here. This person got a little zealous with that, I think. Not a lot of food. The other thing that changed, and we'll talk about here, mango ice cream? I don't know. I gotta check my muscles here after that. Forgot to. Well, we can check right now. Boop. Let's check muscles. 11 copper? Nah, didn't check. But people are buying them. That's the thing. 11, 12 copper. So I usually have to sell these to the merchant, but that's good news. That's good news. I wonder if... What is it? Oysters? 21 copper. So people 11, 12. It's better than nothing. Better than nothing. So some of these recipes may make some of the base materials come back up in price. I'm trying to think what else would go back up in price here. But anyways, let's talk about sharpening stones. Wow, that's how you spell. So sharpening stones were also removed from being account bound and things like that. Some of them. Now, not all of them were account bound. Just some of them. Like the bountiful ones, I think. There's the toxic ones and the magnanimous. So some of that stuff, if you need, it's not too pricey for most of them. Sharpening stones in general can be pretty pricey, but you know, that's good. Now people can be able to get that stuff without that kind of thing. But on the flip side of that, that means materials, again, base materials are going to go up in price as people craft this stuff and sell it. That is a thing people do, yes. I don't do it myself, but it's something you can look into. It's not just sharpening stones, it's the oil, it's the crystals, right? What am I thinking of? I thought I had those crystals. I don't know where they are. But stuff to look into. Stuff to look into. Now, talking about this, I wonder if, I don't think hatch chilies. I think you can sell the hatch chili food, but I don't know. The big problem was there wasn't a use for the hatch chilies. Right? Where did they put those? Living story. There they are. I have 1268. Right? They're count bound on acquire still. But I wonder if there's any recipe with that too. There's the node. So maybe chili. I had chili this weekend. I can't stop talking about it. Made it from scratch. First time. Crock pot. Great. Okay, it wasn't great. It was all right. It was missing... I needed more tomato paste, I think. I didn't add any sugar. I was afraid something else was going to make it sweeter, but it didn't. So... got that little bit of sweetness. But it wasn't tomatoey enough. You need that tomatoey-ness. But it was good otherwise. You mix it up with some cornbread. Oh, I made some delicious moist cornbread. Anyways. But here we are. So the chili... Bola Marjorie's experimental chili. I don't know if any of this uses the hatch chilies. I don't know it uses it. But that's a big one I hope gains value because my peppers are worthless to me. Things like that. I'm trying to think what else in here I need. I need to sell these freaking Watchwork sprockets that... my depression at the time. Maybe, look at that. 5 gold. See ya. I do quick sell these. A sell order is always the smart move to make more money, but we're going to grab a little money there. A little bit. Yeah. You always add more hot sauce. Yeah, mine wasn't too spicy. I added a lot of chili powder. I didn't want to make it too spicy. Ah, chili's good. You know what the worst time for the economy changes are? When you're trying to build a freaking legendary. But, you know. Oh yeah, you know how I wanted the Destroyer Lodestones to drop in price? Because people are, you know, doing the Destroyer Lodestone thing? Guess what? They added in more recipes, and so the price went up. Not too much. It's not too far away. It's only some silver, but we're gonna have to figure that out. I mean, that was just, you know, convenience of timing, but at the same time, it didn't work out. So, look, I already have 4 Mystic Clovers. Wow. PvP rewards. What happened there? Finishing that Drizzlewood track gives you like, I don't know, 8 Mystic Clovers. It's well worth it. And PvP. Trying to look, what else in here do I usually sell and things like that? Oh, I didn't talk about doubloons. So now other doubloons drop from what wasn't dropping. I think silver doubloons have dropped in price just randomly because of it. But, you know, copper, gold, for sure. I don't know why I'm holding on to all these. I should just really get rid of them. Platinum drops. I don't remember what they changed in there, but check the patch note. Platinum doubloons, though, we're getting up there. So it's good to see that they're going to drop from another source. Anytime you get into this kind of stuff in this tab, you don't want the price to get too far away. Although amalgamated gemstones at 71 silver makes some people puke that spent all that time making those Gen 2 legendary weapons and things like that. It's interesting to see people get mad about it now, but I've never made one, and I've only ever had, well, I used to sell them, but since I've been thinking about making a Gen 2 for I don't know how long now, I have 47, and it's usually like Mystic Forger Day. I'll go Mystic Forge some of the crystals here until I get an amalgamated gemstone, which gives me orbs and things like that. But you can just take 75 of these, split them into 3 stacks of 25, right? Or is it 3 stacks of 75? I don't remember. But you can mix and match these and put them in the forge and get more amalgamated gemstones. With something else that I'm totally forgetting. But look at the recipe. Better way to do it. What else happened? Poultry. Poultry's still sitting at 7. It actually evened out in price. So I don't know what was doing that. Butter, 2 silver a piece. I know a good butter farm. I should probably go do it. You guys actually, I've shown the butter farm several times when I'm mapping. Thing is, I don't stick around there very long, but you get these bags. You open those bags. Those bags, for some reason, have a high chance to give you the higher tier of butter. Even though they could give you no butter or just like 1 stick of butter, they tend to give you the higher amount. 4, 5, 6, 7, I think it goes up to. Maybe more. But it's amazing. And I've gone out there, probably spent like 20 minutes, got diminishing returns, and walked away with like 130 butter. Great. It's good money. We're not spending a lot of time. Plus some other things that come out of the bags. Chocolates, I think, came out of those bags. You get some oranges, which are account bound. So something else. That kind of thing. Peppercorn seeds. I did not sell these last time. But remember when the daily resets coming upon us, put up a sell order. 22 silver. It's about where they sell at. Also, haven't talked about quality red meat. But their price is going up. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Nothing too big. There are resources out there, by the way, to look this stuff up. If you go to like Guild Wars 2 Spidey and things like that, those have been around a long time. But try to find a website, or you can even make your own API key and things like that. Type of thing that looks at the economy, sees what shifts in value. But be careful. Just because it says 300% change in value positively does not mean something crazy is going on. Because sometimes buying a stack of something will push that price up, and then they'll be like, oh my god, 300%. But really, you're talking copper. Because if it was sitting at 5 copper and now it's at 17 because there is supply but not a lot of demand, of course it's going to shoot up a bunch of percent. So just be careful with that kind of stuff. Look at numbers more than the percentage. Percentage can lie to you. It really can. So, but at the same time, percentage can be good if you know the product is, like if it's a legendary weapon, you're seeing that going up like, say, 17%. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money right there. So then you want to look at it a little bit closer. So. Other than that, I'm trying to think. We need a stack of ghost peppers. I think that price is going down, right? So, but the economy has shifted. ArenaNet did better than I thought they would. I just don't trust the economy changes ever, and that trust did hold over. So I was pretty pissed on Tuesday. In all honesty, I was a mad boy. But then looking at it and then watching it closely over the weekend and that kind of stuff, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it overall. Pretty good that they had the foresight this time to make sure that prices weren't going to get too far away from them. So, I haven't been really paying attention to tier 6 materials, things like that either, but we'll see what happens in the coming months. With the claws that drop from the destroyers and things. So look at that. If you need these materials, it's always good to see what Dragon Response missions are doing. In the most part, destroyers drop that kind of stuff. Can't remember if they drop one of the other ones, but when it comes to the value of things, make sure you're checking that market. That's all I'm saying. And with last week's patch, it's even more important. So, free stuff on the gym store. Check what you have, what you're getting, and what you can probably make. We're going to go into the DRMs because there's a lot of stuff to go over, and I do want to do one of those today here live on YouTube. What? Don't forget to hit the like button, people. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Also, sub. We need to get our sub numbers up. I appreciate that. It's just, you just click it. It's a button. Also, info down below. I'm just throwing that out there, too. Okay. Enough shilling. Let's talk about Deldrimor's support marks. So when you come into DRMs, the first thing I suggest you absolutely 100% do is unlock the newest mastery. No, this is not it. Sorry. Getting distracted. There is a new mastery called Great Champion. You can read about it. I'm not going to go over it here. It's not going to change my life. But I highly suggest you get that started. Now, if you're going, it's not unlocked. I believe it's either this guy right here that sells it. The support mark vendor. I already bought it, so I can't see it again. It stinks. Or it's at least this guy over here. But I think it's for the Deldrimor marks. And then once you have that mastery done, this guy right here will open up discount stuff. So these are for the Tyrian defense seals, which is the generic currency that comes with DRMs. You can trade your old marks for that. And so it's okay. It's not, it's like 10%, something like that. So there you go. So the Ebon Vanguard stuff, it looks like the older things are going to be pushed over here to the discount vendor is what's going to happen. I think. Don't hold me to that. So buy your mastery, get it started. If you have any mastery stuff for Icebrood Saga, you're going to have to finish it that way. You'll have to earn it on Icebrood Saga maps. And I think the DRMs count towards it too. Yeah. But doing all 4 of the new DRMs did not get me that mastery done, so it's going to take a bit. Then, when you're going to do marks and things like that, they have these new supply boxes. So, inside of there is some great materials. I have gotten the 12 Onyx Lodestones, and then some of this. So the rare stuff doesn't seem as rare. But I did not get the Volcanic Stormcaller weapon box. Rare stuff tends to be pushed to the left over here. So the rarer things, but when they're a big list like this, you can't tell. But when they're a smaller list, you can see the rarity tends to be closer to this side. Does it always hold true? No. Should it be even? Yes, technically. But of course, that can't happen. If everybody's just dropping Volcanic Stormcaller weapon boxes, then they wouldn't be sitting at such a stupid, ridiculous price anyways. How much are they now? Woo! Still over 100 gold. Things remind me of the Kaiser weapons. At one point, these things were hundreds of gold. I think I sold one for like 300 gold back in the day. Really, if we keep doing DRMs, eventually the supply will come down. They'll be less than 100 gold, but they'll go back up because we'll be busy doing other things. So... I would not be surprised if I start seeing them at 500, 600 gold later on through the life of this game type of thing. So maybe this is a good investment. But at the same time, if they do start dropping somewhere else or something, so take that with a grain of salt. The Deldrimor Stone Skin Infusion is in there. It is an infusion that changes the look of your character and stuff. And that's the special item they gave. They were given... unique weapon skins on the other ones, but this time around they're giving us infusions. And I don't know if you can just get 1, 2, as many as you want, but 75 marks is not hard to get, really. You're doing all the daily stuff and the achievements, which might as well talk about a little bit of. So there are daily... what am I thinking of? There we go. Bonus events is what they are. Inside of here, they'll give you more marks and things like that. If you do this for, I think it's 5 days or something like that, and you get all the marks you can and save them up, you should be able to get the infusion. I think. And then we're about to talk about this reward right here. So, the other way to get marks is by the second tab here, and you can turn materials in for the marks. Now, a good way to do this is to sort of check on how many. So you can buy 5 of them, and you can look up things like, you know, how much is silver ore? They're asking for 200 silver ore, which I've already spent mine. So you can look up silver ore, type in 200, and that's how much the mark would be worth. Then I saw gold ore, I think, for 100. Gold ore... 100. So these things are pushing up the economy. 50 gossamer scraps, it looks like. Vicious claws would not be worth it, I don't think. That sets you what? Because we have them right here. They're asking for 25. That's 2.5. 3 gold. Wow, math. Well, if you buy it down there, I was thinking more of this price. So yeah. So you don't want that. Gossamer scraps have gone up in price. They're asking for 50. There's your seller. So that's what you would want to buy if you don't have this stuff, to check it. There was also 100 large fangs. We'll check that in a second. Large fangs. Can't believe silver and gold are worth more. Was it large fangs or large claw? Claw. Check it, man. Just check it. Claw. I knew it was claw. Okay. Large claw, 79. They're asking for what, 100? So this would also be pretty close to that price. So I have enough to buy all 5 for the gossamer scraps. So these will continue to push the economy's price that way too. So, but it's a quick way to earn 5 marks just like that. And then you'll get an extra one for your daily, so that's 6 marks. Gonna bring me up to 7 marks. I'm not interested in the infusion. Sounds weird. I need infusions. I don't have a lot of them, but I'm just not interested in this one. So therefore, there it is. I buy the boxes, and I try my hand at getting those volcanic weapons. No? Oh, that's a surprise. 17 onyx shards? That's what's up. I don't know how much that's worth with everybody getting the onyx shards. Yeah, not bad. 2 gold back. You usually get a good amount of money. We also got 14 gossamer scraps back. Things like that. And I'm also swamped when winning. We'll gain more. Now, eventually, these boxes will come over here, just like the Ebon Vanguard boxes. As you can see, like, there's different drops. You have all those weapons and things, which aren't really worth that much. So, but destroyer lodestones out of them would be good. Any of the destroyer stuff, and then, of course, this lower tier stuff isn't too bad. Same thing with this discount vendor. You know, you can get the crystal bloom stuff here. Same things going on, except they had the crystal lodestones, and then they had the bloom axe skin. But this is a account bound on acquire, and you can't do anything if you get it again. Super rare is the amalgamated draconic lodestone. I don't know how much that's worth anymore. It's always been expensive. So here is the amalgamated stuff. 15 gold for one of those, which is not a bad find if you get lucky enough. The amalgamated gemstone for being super rare is the kicker. The thing that doesn't need to be there, I have no idea. Unless you get like 10 of them. Then maybe. Alright. Talk about it. Next thing I need to talk about is this is the last day. There's 18 hours remaining to get your bonus tiers. You need to come into the game, do a DRM. You need to turn in 5 marks. I believe it's 5 marks. I'll show you here. Global rewards. You have to turn in 5 marks. You'll get 3 bonus boxes of goods, which hold a lot of great things, really. A lot of just all the infusions and stuff you can get in the game. Pretty nice. You know what I haven't checked today? The Chalk Garant infusion, because that's at a higher drop rate too. But anyways, you get the marks. You can either buy them like I did and turn them in for the chest or whatever, like I just did. That will use up 6 of them. That'll get you it. And then we're already 4 out of 5. Well, I'm 4 out of 5. What you need to do after that point is talk to Ogden Stonehealer right here, and that's how you get your rewards. I'm just going to get the tier 5 chest since I've got the other chests. And a supply box, why not? Some karma. The rewards inside aren't the greatest, but there's always a chance to get something good, and it's free. Just by simply doing things you're going to already do. You can also talk to him, things like that, and there you go. So, overall, DRMs, not a lot of new stuff. However, story-wise, things are taking a little bit of a twist. We are going to play one of them, just to show you a little bit of twist. So, we're not just against the destroyers anymore. I'm just going to spoil that for you. But if you watched the trailer, maybe you would have picked that up anyways, that things were going to shift. Truces don't last very long when you're in constant contention and things like that. So I highly suggest when you go into a DRM to expect the worst with your group. Now, is that the attitude you should have? Absolutely not. But as a veteran, I know that most players in this game right now are not at the level of what most players need to be. And that's just the truth of it. While some people need to be running 80 to 100% of where the stats can take them, some are running much lower. Much lower. Down all the way like 20%. They're doing like 100 damage per hit. So you just have to expect that. Even at level 80, you'd be surprised. But for the most part, the average damage you're going to see, as a buddy of mine has done this statistically for about 6 months now, the average damage is about 730, which is not good. Doing 1,000 damage is pretty easy. But 730 damage is his average of doing public events. He's seen some pretty low numbers. He wonders if those people even have weapons on sometimes. Or armor. But for the most part, it is what it is. So when you go into the public event, which I'm about to do, you have to assume the worst. I am going to go ahead and eat some higher tier food. But for the most part, the frozen zones aren't bad. I'm going to go ahead and turn down the dialogue a little bit more, because they do a lot of talking, and that's where a lot of the they're gonna try to talk over me, and I don't want that to happen. But anyways, Dragon Response mission, they give me a choice now, so we're getting more into that, and we're gonna go over to Snowden. It's gonna hit public. It's gonna shove me into a group. Now, the heart-like stuff at the beginning here to get a morale boost, I do not like the Primordius side. The Jormag side is not horrible. Like, people have already started here. Somewhere. We just beat these guys up. So there's a lot of stuff going on with story and things like that with these DRMs. That's also why I don't want to do these shows on this stuff too quickly, because I don't want to spoil things either. So I'll let you get those. Buddy old pal. So DRM's pretty simple idea. The beginning here is a few events. Now, there was a big change to these, which was really, really nice. They when you get 3 morale boosts, you no longer have to stand around and wait, which is a huge change, because having to sit there for 2.5 minutes with a good group was just annoying. And just overall just stunk. So they changed that. Stick to the tasks, that kind of stuff. What are we missing? Walk-ins. I have the Quaggins. Okay. I always forget my skills just never come back fast enough out of Reaper Shroud. It's absolutely annoying. We're in the thick of it. We're just gonna have to run. Ah. Stop chilling me. I just want to get the last 2 Quaggins there. That's all I want. I just want to get the last 2 Quaggins there. So we have 2 morale boosts, and then there's 3. And then it finishes. It only took me forever to finish that. With 3 morale boosts, you're going to see my HP down here at 44,000. The great thing about a Valkyrie Reaper is that we have a lot of health to work with. And when you get, we got the Prismatic Shard, that's what's up. I still think these are your best allies, is Crystal Bloom. Gotta talk to this guy. Tell him, yo, let's go, man. Let's go. Now, there is a daily DRM for the dailies, so just look for that. And then these public ones, I've heard they cut out some things, or they're faster in a sense, and I don't know what people were talking about. So take that with a grain of salt, but I've heard something like that, like these public ones move a little faster. But private ones, you can bring your friends, and life is good. You can rely on friends better than you can rely on just randoms. But the group so far seems pretty good. We'll see what happens when we start going against this. Now, Primordius minions, HP sacks. Jormag's minions, from what I experienced last Tuesday, did not have as much HP. So when it comes to farming these, Jormag stuff will be faster. Yeah, see, they just die so much quicker. Gotta pick up the essence. Again, there's a whole bunch of story happening here. I suggest you play through it and not try to get it here. And plus, I don't want to spoil anything for people who still haven't got this DRM or anything like that too much. But overall, these DRMs, as much as they are just the same stuff over and over, they aren't bad. They can just be slow, and they use some raid mechanics, but ArenaNet has shifted that stuff out into the open and things like that a bit more. So just the game mechanics can be a little more stiff, is how I'm going to explain it. But they're just, sometimes the mechanics work well, and other times they just don't. So, you know, it's harder for, you know, a group not organized to do the content versus the other way around. So, here it is. But sometimes you get a nice group of people. And again, I'm doing, as I believe this is the last one that takes probably just as long as a challenge mode, but it's easier overall. Get some good experience here. Break them bars. Oh, the constant evade. To take advantage of that shield to get some alacrity. Don't forget to get your mastery points. I have the hiccups suddenly. Whoops. That is not what I'm trying to open. So mastery point over here, things like that. That's where we're headed. So, but I'm up to 8 extra mastery points now, so they are being a little loose with the mastery stuff. And then I think I have all the ones I need to finish out the story, or I need 1 or 2 more. And I believe there's either 2 more maps coming or 3. I think it's 3 more maps. So this will be updated here in a couple weeks. The event ends in 18 hours, but you can still earn credit for the DRMs for another week before they shift over to the next alliance, which would be something. Tengu, I don't know. I can't remember what I saw. But Tengu have to be in there at some point, right? If the expansion comes out and they have a race, and they do introduce a 6th race, excuse me, 7th? What? Wait, what are you talking about? No, they introduce another race. I think Tengu would be the easier choice for them, but, you know, who knows? Maybe they will give us 2 or 3. or 5 more. But I don't know. That would be a reach. But I think Tengu would be a lot of fun. Having those in Guild Wars 1. Playable stuff in Guild Wars 1 that we still haven't touched on is Centaurs, Tengu. I'm trying to think what else is in there. I can't think of something else. We had Asura, but we can play them. A Char. Sting the people you can have in your group. You can always play a human, but... What's the other one? I feel like I'm missing one. We already played the Norn. Savari didn't exist. Guild Wars 1. They didn't exist. Isn't that crazy? Oh. You know, ArenaNet needed the elf-like people somehow. people like their elves, okay? I love the music to this game. Alright? God, so much chill. Bring that Condi Cleanse. Like my life force. 36,906. Fuck you. Move it. Where are we at here? Moving this story? Oh, we're almost there. We're almost there. I don't remember where they stand, though, and I don't want to put it in a weird place. But you can still use the portable way stations. We're just going to grab some AoE control here and stun break. But here we are, at the boss. Dragon response missions cannot be skipped. You have to play through them. So ArenaNet has little checkpoints with the NPCs, and of course the NPCs have to get there, and then that part of the event is like a checkpoint. So there's no way to just come to this area and get it to work or anything like that. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. Playing through them, having... Did mine a little bit early. So there's like safe places as he does things like this. Break the bar. Dodge that. Don't be a chump like me. But overall, we're just going to do a little bit of this. You can also put stability on and survive it. Again, I do have all the health. You can also use the crystal if you're not rezzing an NPC, which is an absolute tragedy that that's still the thing. Players res? Yes. NPCs? No, just let them die. You know what? We're going to fix that really quick. Get up. And then there's always, at a certain percentage of health, that the NPCs will run off. I'm getting hit way too damn hard. Gonna back off for a second here. Don't have any support coming my way, so it's just gotta deal with things the way I deal with things. There we go. Person's down. Let's make sure they get back up. Be a team player. Portals. So this is what I was talking about. A little bit of crowd control here. I can do things like that. Focus the portals and then focus the elite. Trust me, life will be easier in this one. Again, I am dying much faster than I ever have. So we're gonna have to take off here. We can't fight that guy. This person is holding us back. So don't be that guy. All right, you're just sitting there shooting a bow. Okay, get in here. Get into the mess of it. Problem is, I think players have gotten very cowardly. They're afraid to get into the girth of this game, and that just isn't good enough for me as a veteran. And we'll talk about that more on Thursday about burnout and things like that. But it's okay to be a casual, but there are times where you're actually going to have to be a tryhard. And when you're in public missions and things like that, That's the moment. That's when you want to be doing better than just okay. That's when you want to actually put some effort in. And a lot of times we don't get that because players get comfortable with what they're doing instead of getting better at what they're doing. And you get more comfortable the better you get. So this is going to take a while. We're going to have to keep our distance. There it is. So I wonder if they even have the ability to break the bar without that way station. Gonna go after the one doing the most damage to him. So again, some people out there doing 733 average damage. I'm smacking this guy for 5,000 plus. A little bit of effort makes big difference. Throwing that number back out there because it makes a difference. Run! Is he doing this at 33? Every 33? I didn't want to get away from him. Ah! Portals again. Where's everybody want to go? Let's stick with the group this time. I need life force. I need all the life force. That person's gonna die out there. Person, you're gonna die out there. Come fight with the rest of the group. What am I targeting? What is targeted right now? ArenaNet, fix your targeting. Gosh. My tab targeting didn't work there. That's what happened. Down. Then we go this way, take care of this shaman. Brought that way station inside. Can I put another one down? Might be the better move. I'll waste him. I have to close my inventory. Grab that. Ow! This is not the elite, right? An extra. It's over here. The bruiser. How'd I miss him? That shaman that has that break bar. And a bit tougher. Grab this. Alright, we're gonna work on breaking this bar as soon as he's done coiling trouble this way. Got him. Sadly, that attack keeps going. What's the point of breaking the bar? Gonna evade backwards. Leech his soul. Gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna evade. No reason to make it overly complicated. Big attack can be evaded. Some can't, so just look for the markers. ArenaNet did a really good job, even though it's a bit spammy of a battle still and things like that. To understand that it's important to... I dodged. I guess it was just a little bit too late. But they give you that marker. Sadly, the ice effect overtakes some of it, which is a weird thing. But once you get used to it, it's better. The Primordius stuff, those bosses, those mechanics cannot be changed in the sense of what they do. the one-hit attack and things like that. Then we're gonna get some loot here and stuff. Yay! Make sure you grab your chest. It does auto loot. Get some of those prismaticite. Defense sills, which is the generic currency. Got 1 Deltramore mark. Is that true? Yeah. So there's the loot. You get these extra ingots and stuff, which is still all right in the sense of things. So, got gift of metal, but still isn't gonna help me. Salvage all that down, and there you go. There's my loot. Wait, gotta break the rare. No ecto.
You aren't responsible for Ryland or Jormag.
Overall, the first Primordius DRMs that you play in the story, pretty rough around the edges. Pretty tough, but the Jormag ones, not as much. Definitely a step back, things like that. It can get a little irritating in the one before this one, but this final one right here, it felt like either they just had to rush this a little bit, or they definitely wanted to ease off on the difficulty for whatever reason. But there it is. Go back home through the portal. You can also leave above the mini-map. I remember. There's the Dragon Response missions. Now, overall, not much content for me. That's why I haven't been playing it. I do think the rewards are pretty good. Pretty good. Especially the infusions, things like that to earn. All that going on. So, there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that they added with these DRMs. I think I should go over. I think so. But I can spend another 2 marks here. I do think the chests are worth opening. Don't buy Karma here. They're not worth the mark. The mark itself is worth somewhere between 50 silver to a gold per mark. You know, so... Smart. Karma is easy to earn. But getting some of these older material, lower tier materials is not a bad thing. But overall, nothing really special was added. Here in a couple weeks, we will get probably the Lunar New Year and the next set of DRMs, maybe. Maybe a map, maybe more. I don't know. I don't remember how they changed it last time. No maps? No maps. They probably won't give us any more maps, but they'll give us a new alliance, a new global event, and that kind of things. We have 2 more chapters. So if they give us 10 DRM maps, I can't remember the number there, but they give us 10 total there, that would finish out in chapter 3, and so chapter 4 would be a bridge into whatever's going to lead us to the expansion, more than likely. But again, grain of salt. Who knows what ArenaNet has up their sleeve. We only have the roadmap until May, and we're moving. We're moving, so... That means, again, I do think the End of Dragons expansion can come earlier rather than later. But I don't want them to rush anything. I want a good product. I want a good expansion, something that pulls me in and stuff like that. When it comes here live with the expansion, that's going to be a little more difficult, so expect changes when that comes out. I mean, that's months down the road, but I'm always thinking that far away at least when it comes to that kind of stuff. And... just overall, as veterans, Dragon Response missions don't do a lot for us. Other content we need to do or want to do, or it just doesn't feel like it's filling the same gap. Strike missions, they're like strike missions or a dungeon of sorts. A fractal is how they feel. And if we've done a lot of those, it's not going to attract you as much. But as a new player coming into these... I don't know. I think these are a lot of fun compared to just doing a meta. I think having Eye of the North as a main base interior here is pretty cool, and I think having this gate lead to a lot of that stuff is nice. What I would like in the future is this becomes the hub that Lion's Arch was, but ArenaNet doesn't like cities to fade out, but still, they made this. Now, I have all the crafting stations here. I have access to a bank, a trading post, you know? Orene's down this way. why would I not want to come here type of thing. And it's free to come here. I mean, just anytime I want to come here. So it's an end game thing that I hope they keep doing. We also have the scrying pool. There is now some other things going on with forging steel. So let's talk a little bit closer about these dailies. So doing 3 of the missions will give you a daily. Buying 3 of the tokens will give you a daily. Killing 20 destroyers will give you a daily. And then complete the Still Warband Vision will give you a daily. So you would have to do that as well to get all the dailies done like I was talking about. If you have not done the Still Warband Vision, this would be the time to do it again. I really need to go back in there myself and get some of those achievements done because even I don't have that stuff done. Wow, man. I'm not done. But, yeah, I mean, I like that kind of crossover stuff. It gets people to do older content, things like that, giving players that are finally coming into it a chance to be able to do it as well, repopulating the instances, things like that. I'm sure some people out there just want to speedrun it and things like that. But overall, I think ArenaNet, with what they're giving us and how they're... I'm pretty sure this was going to be more of a chapter instead of chapters. It was going to be an episode, an episode. And the episode was going to cover all this stuff, but then they broke it up into chapters because of the expansion. And I think this isn't a bad thing. Although, so if I go into the achievements in here, so here's Champions. That's what the episode was probably going to be called, Champions. And then they have stretch goals. So we still have a meta, we still have, achievements to earn, that kind of thing. And now they've given us more and that kind of stuff. I'm actually surprised to have 23 of the 39 done. So there's only 16 achievements for me to grab. A lot of it is the challenge modes, things like that. So if you're not doing the challenge modes, I don't know if this is possible, but we'll see what the 3rd chapter inside of this episode will do. But they're just giving us chunks of the episode. So, Pondo, hello. Yeah, interesting way to do it. I'm not mad that they're doing it this way because I think stretching out, sorry, didn't mean to put a pun, but yes, I did. I think them stretching out this episode the way they are is better than them doing the episode and us having like a 5-month wait for the expansion with just Festival. I mean, that wouldn't work. I think stretching it out, bringing us to summer, and even if they don't give us another episode, it would be better. But if they do give us a final episode to end the Icebrood Saga, which is our longest living story saga so far, compared to what we've had. Even the expansions didn't last as long as this one has. Since they introduced the prologue and have moved, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different things that they've added in. So, what was that? 4 episodes this week, our 5th episode here. So the way they did it, we still got a great chunk of content. And some of it is the best content they've released so far. Some of it, not so much, more grindy. Shadow in the Ice is such a grindy thing, I just didn't finish it. I can't, as a veteran, I can't bring myself to that. Again, we'll talk about that on Thursday, but same thing, Visions of Past, Steel and Fire, just felt really grindy. Although there's a lot of great rewards in here and things like that. But the other ones I did finish, at least the base mastery. Some other stuff is out there. The problem with Shadow in the Ice for me is that I have to do the meta, and some of the stuff I just don't know where it is. Most of the achievements I'm missing is story related. Whisper in the Dark was really good though. I love that one. I finished everything in there. They added this later, and this can't be ever completed, so... But I do already have 2 out of 6 on that. Bound by Blood and Whisper in the Dark gave me a lot of hope for this saga, but then, like, the expansion, it was obvious that they needed to start putting in some filler content, and ArenaNet, as much as they pretend players don't know, it's... After 8 years, it becomes obvious that choices were made at a certain point, because the content is either flowing a certain way, and then it shifts, either to a more casual, grindy, old MMO type experience. And then you see like, oh, here's the announcement, and you're like, oh, that's why, type of thing. And I don't think ArenaNet is intentionally trying to treat us like children or trying to just gaslight us and be like, no, that's not what's happening. But that's how it comes off sometimes, is the fact that they're not transparent enough with that stuff, where they're like, look, you know, this is what went into that episode. Or it's the teams aren't equal in ability, is what it feels like with that stuff. That's what it feels like. I'm just saying that as a player. Real know-how to what's going on? Who the hell ever knows? With ArenaNet, since they're not transparent, there's not enough to read into that kind of stuff, so we have to base it off just how we feel. But it is pretty obvious that something happened somewhere to get these shifts. Just from really good content to just alright content. I don't know. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because we're still getting content, but it's a pretty good thing to keep getting that content. So I have 8 mastery points. If they keep giving us 2 per thing, that'll be pretty good. So I got the next 2 masteries done here. We're getting 4 more. Yeah, I may be short something here, but it depends on the other ones. So 6, 10, 15 more mastery points to finish this out. That means... How many chapters were in this? I thought it was just 4. Is it 5? Make a little more sense, but if it's just 4, then I don't know. They're just going to shove all those masteries at us at the last minute? Who knows? Maybe it's still connected to another episode or something like that, too. They were saying on Guild Chat that they changed the ending because of the expansion. Think they did much better with the power than Truce. The new DRMs are much better. I feel like there's still some flaws with the DRMs, but I think they should have learned a lot from the first ones, for sure. And they did adjust that stuff and things like that. So again, being there first is suckier than coming later because you get the better result. Although sometimes being there first, you can get things done before they change it, make it harder, and things like that too. So, still think Living World Season 4 is your favorite? Visions between champions, and they could just keep doing visions forever. They don't have to wait for expansions or anything like that. That's just side stories and things like that. Visions is the future of this game, really. Just like in Guild Wars 1 when they did Winds of Change and stuff like that, that's where it's at. If we can go back in time and experience lore and go back in time and experience other things, like, they should do that. They really should. I think ArenaNet as a company, as they shift as a company, because obviously they're not going to be the ArenaNet we knew from 8 years ago. I think if they're going to shift, what they should shift into is creating chunks of Guild Wars 2 universe, and whether that's a new game or whatever it is, but I think that would be better. Especially if they go into more of the publishing side with NCSoft and things like that. Now I'm talking really like just business-like methods and stuff, but I do think Guild Wars 2, when they make good chunks of content, this game feels really good. When they are just trying to make filler content, when they're just trying to like, I don't know. Filler content's probably the best way to say it. When they're just trying to fill space with something, the content comes out not polished enough. It comes out not tested enough. It comes out just feeling like there should have been something more. And then it brings up that conversation about ANET's potential. And that conversation's so old and so over talked about and debated because ANET has never reached that potential. They just can't possibly reach that potential even now because the game has aged so far. It's not aging well because of the engine they're using and things like that. The limits are there. We're seeing things like frame rate drops, which is back pieces off the gym store, which should not be a thing. But is there a way for them to fix it? We'll never know because we may never see it. Right? We may never see that change and things like that. But when they do have something well planned out and well executed, this is the greatest MMO you could ever play. But then when they come out with the other things, it just feels like, what happened? Right? Because you see this great thing, and then you get this next thing, and they're just like trying stuff. And you're just like, why would you mess with the formula and try to reinvent the wheel yet again when the wheel is rolling here? When this wheel is just, it's all weather, it's ready to go, it's attracting new players, and then you send us this product and it's just not as good. Now, there are a lot of rose-tinted sunglasses out there. Living Season 4, Episode 3? I don't think so. I have to disagree with you immediately on that. What was Living Story Season 3? Long Live the Lich? Was it that one? The story, yes, was good. Alright? Great. The story was great. The actual content in Living Season 4, Episode 3 made me want to quit the game. That's how bad that episode was compared to everything else they released to that point. I think that episode was not finished when they released it. It was bugged. The content they released was just cliche. I mean, oh, here's this beetle mount, blah, blah, blah. Go do metas out in the world like we've done 30 times. Right? Story, fantastic, if you could get there. I think it was bug in the system that was really broken. But, like, there were other bugs that were crashing people. The cinematics were crashing people. It was a weird thing. But the map and just, like, the stuff in it. Like, look at this grind. Look at this grind. This is upgrading turrets. You have to go get enough pieces to upgrade the turrets. I'm surprised I even finished this. I think I didn't finish it. I had to go back and finish it for, like, a ring or something like that. That's the only motivation that got me back out there. But, like, the episode itself took, like, 3 patches to get it on par with past episodes. I'm not kidding you. It felt so unfinished, I thought maybe they had messed up. Like, they sent out the wrong one. That's how it felt to me. Like, I couldn't believe it. I'm running around killing things, not getting anything for it. Literally nothing. No experience, no loot, no nothing. Nothing was dropping from them. It was insane. Then they're just, they started patching things. Long Live the Lich broke instance creation? Oh. But, that's my point. When it's good, it's good. But when you get something that isn't as good as what they've been doing, it's just completely noticeable, all the flaws. Like sending a car out without actually painting it and putting the windows in. You're just like, what is this? This is not a car. This is some of a car, right? You're like, it's missing something. But, yeah. But that's just the thing. That's just the thing. ArenaNet's good at making a story. Even though it can get disjointed on how they do things. But ArenaNet can write a story. Their writers are great. The thing is, graphics, music, and story is something that should be pretty good in this day and age because we have the formula of what people enjoy. Nostalgia, right? That's a good thing. Nostalgia, even in music, when you make music and that emotional, like, suddenly rise inside of a movie or something and you're like, you get choked up a little bit, that is a science. That is something that can be artificially formed through the art. Which isn't so artificial. It just feels natural, right? So, but the thing is, we've perfected these things through what art is. The problem is, we're still trying to catch up on programming. Which shouldn't be a thing after 20-some years. We should be getting ahead of it a little bit by now with the technology we have. But it's such a new technology, just programming, right? We've been programming longer than that. We're talking over 100 years now. We've been making machines and getting them to work a certain way. And computers, a lot of people don't understand. Computers aren't just a chip and a processor and things like that. It was more than that, right? But that's the problem. We're still at the point where programmers take years to program something. And that's what bothers me the most about video games in general. But for Guild Wars 2, it shows. Their engine does not let them do things. They have to go reprogram stuff to get it to work in a new episode. And I mean, it makes sense. It's very rigid. It has to be, because if it just did whatever it wants, people would be crashing all the time, or weird things would be happening. Like, why is my character floating out into space, right? But that's just it. Like, Guild Wars 2 shows the limits of its engine because of how old it is already. Imagine Guild Wars 2 being here in 10 years. Even Guild Wars 1, as old as that game looks and its functionality is in that era, it's still a pretty good game. Is Guild Wars 2 just going to be a pretty good game at the end as well? Or is it still going to hold its greatness later on? You know? I don't know. There's just some things. But Living Season 4 was not a bad season. I just think Episode 3 was my least favorite episode because it just didn't feel finished. But that's the whole full thing. Same thing with the DRMs. I think the first DRMs, they were all right, but these HP sacks and things like that still exist, like, they still need to go nerf the HP of those destroyers. I have no idea why quality assurance isn't saying it's taking a long time to kill these things. What kind of level do they think their players are on? That's what's confusing me about that. But then you get to the Jormag instance, and it feels good. It's fun because you have your build, you're set up to kill these things, and you're killing them. You're doing the things you're supposed to do. But I don't know. Somewhere along the way, the translation isn't there. You know, it's like, again, yeah, you're gonna like things differently. But the other thing is, if people came into Season 4, Episode 3 now, that stuff doesn't exist. The polish is there, you know what I mean? So me saying that, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, Episode 3 was great, it was a saint, right? Even you remember it differently than I remember it, because my problem was I was a jaded, burnt-out veteran trying to play an episode I didn't think was finished, right? But if you didn't feel that way, of course you're going to like the episode more. It's like the Star Wars series. The last 3 movies aren't bad, but man, it just rubs people the wrong way, right? But that's just it. Everybody experiences things differently, and that's good though. You get a nice variety of stuff. Could you imagine life just being like plain oatmeal? Oh no, get some cinnamon in there. Put a little bit of sugar. Add some butter. Something. Get some flavor, right? Add a little bit of fruit. Could you imagine life being that way? No, I don't think. And I think that may be the strength and weakness of ArenaNet, that they give us so much variety and try new things so often that sometimes it's really, really fantastic, right? And other times it's like what is this, right? But for me, saying, somebody else would be like, man, this is pretty cool, because they like it. And then, right? So you're not wrong. Different strokes for different folks. You're absolutely right. But that's just it, you know? But at the same time, there are certain things that continue to plague ANET. And I think the biggest thing that plagues ANET, especially as we continue going forward with the new expansion and stuff, is going to be the engine. So, I don't know. I think Dragon Response missions, we'll see with the last ones how polished they are. And it'll give us an idea of what to expect. Probably getting there. Disjointed is what you're talking about, Quando. So, just like the Star Wars movies, things got disjointed. Their story, but they don't really fit with the story that's happening in front of it. That happens in Guild Wars 2. I'm glad they went back and rewrote the game a little bit. They changed the dialogue to make it make more sense. They did that at one point. I don't know if they still do that, but if ANET is still going back and rewriting dialogue for sections to make it make more sense for the newer players coming in, that just shows you how much dedication is to the game. I don't know if any other MMO does that, or if anybody has any information on that, but that'd be cool to know. Comment underneath this video if you know of any other MMO that goes back and rewrites stuff to make sure that the lore and stuff doesn't get disjointed. But when episodes come out like this in chunks from different teams, there are parts of the story that are weird. Like, when you were no longer the commander of the pack, and some people start calling you boss, but you're still called commander. And then there's a point in the story where they still call you the commander of the pact, but you're not. You just go by commander now because that was your title in the pact. But they're like, you're the commander of the pact. No. No, that part of the story is shipped. That's gone. Logan is the leader of the pact, and he has his own commanders. We're doing our own thing. We're the leader of a guild, you know? So. But it's definitely disjointed, and that plagues all sorts of great content, though. I'm not going to say ANET's at fault for the disjointed stuff. It plagues all sorts of stuff. I play things all the times where they get updated as the years go on. That's why early access stuff bothers me so much with their stories sometimes. It's like, what? When did this happen? And it didn't happen. And it didn't happen yet. They added it in after the fact. I've already played through that piece, right? And so therefore there's the disjointed stuff, while somebody coming in is going to enjoy it better. Thursday, we're going to dive into this a little bit about burnout. We're going to talk about veterans. We're going to talk about why veterans are so jaded, and pretty much we're talking about those who've been around about 6 years or longer. The cutoff right now, so you have about 3 years of playing Guild Wars 2 steadily, a lot of hours, probably 2 to 4 hours a day into Guild Wars 2 before you start seeing the problems. Or you start feeling burnt out. Really, it's just burnt out, but you start feeling the grind a bit more on what you want and stuff like that, and the overwhelming effects that slowly creep up on you. So about 3 years, maybe 4, you're pushing 4, but definitely 4, 5, 6 years is when you really start to feel this shift in the game. What you want something more, you start seeing, well, why didn't they do this and stuff like that. But after 6 years of playing this game, a lot of veterans aren't here anymore, and I'll explain why. Why they quit their communities, why ArenaNet partners aren't partnered anymore, why, you know, Reddit became the way it did and things like that. It's years of certain things that led up to that. And an 8-year veteran still here is an achievement in itself. It's my God, how? Yeah, Living Series 3, disjointed. Oh yeah. Season 3 was very disjointed compared to Season 2. Alright. But anyhow, I think that's it. That's all I got for you today. How long did we go today? About an hour and a half again. Again, 2 hours max, but I try to make these at least an hour, hour and a half. My goal. But we have a set schedule now. Monday and Thursdays here on YouTube, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll go hour, hour and a half at least, 2 hours max. I don't like going over 2 hours. That's so I can go back and cut out things if I think and stuff in editing in the future. I don't know when that's going to happen. I gotta get my head on straight first, and then I'm gonna keep trying to do this stuff. Yeah. And we're still on Twitch. Live on Twitch. Over on Twitch, which links are down below. Yeah, we'll talk about that, Kondo. Yeah, for sure. Content droughts is what ANET needs to avoid, and they are right now. So what they're doing right now is for the veterans in a sense, in a way. But again, Thursday, we'll talk about it. We'll spend the entire day. There will be some things in the game I'll explain. I'll have to show you in the game, so that'll be there. You know what's really nice about YouTube? I can put the category of what I'm talking about, but I don't have any restrictions. There's a lot of things I love streaming here on YouTube for. First of all, I've only lost 293 frames today. By this point on Twitch, I'd lose over 1,000, and it would just keep going. But I know what that was from, and that was from me clicking on something to adjust something, and it pulled it away. Again, I apologize, but it's just the way it is. But I seem pretty stable here on YouTube when it comes to the actual stuff and things like that, the behind-the-scenes things. Also, it feels less restrictive. I'll again try to keep these shows a little more family-friendly than I am on Twitch. On Twitch, I'll drop F-bombs all the time, right? But here, I'll try to keep it with that, because YouTube doesn't like the cursing, the swearing. All right, they just don't like it. But but anyways, don't forget to subscribe if you can. That'll help me out. Subscribing is the best way to support me right now. Money, pshaw. Unless you want to give me thousands of dollars, then I should probably put a donation link somewhere down there. PayPal. AngryZorric@gmail.com. But no. But subbing to me here on YouTube is the best thing you do for me. And also, I really want to thank everybody who sits there and watches the videos. You just watching these videos or whatever is also great. If you just turn them on as background noise or whatever it is, I really appreciate that too. But subscribe, hit the like button. That gets it noticed, pushes it into people's recommendeds and stuff like that. That helps. Again, everybody thinks support and stuff. Support and stuff. Sorry, he's just absolutely won't leave me alone. This is Lucky. Is this the first time on YouTube? Is this your first time on YouTube? But if you want to keep supporting this endeavor, just subscribe, like. You can dislike if you want, but again, that doesn't help me. I don't know what you dislike. So comment if you really hate me. But you can also ask questions. I am an ArenaNet partner. Ask the questions. So yeah, see, this is your reward for being here at the end of the show today. Lucky shows up on Twitch all the time. Your eye okay? Every time I talk, your eye... Such a good boy, aren't you? For now. He's been a little weird the last couple days, which I like because then he isn't doing bad things or being a butt face, but he knows when I end these shows. It's a little weird. But anyhow. So I've said my spiel about YouTube. We will be on Twitch the next 2 days. Tuesday and Thursday and Friday is all Final Fantasy 12 until we finish the darn game. Okay? He deserves a treat. I don't have any up here because he usually stays in his bed for a couple hours. But we'll get some. How about this? Next time we'll give Lucky treats if he wants to come on the show. Yeah? Yeah? Look at all the YouTube cubes. No? There's nothing there. There's nothing there. We'll do something. Mods, thank you so much today. Which tomorrow, the next couple days, we'll be back on Thursday. Again, I think this will be a nice way to break the monotonous Twitch streaming. Twitch, we have a lot of things to fix. The camera stopped working over there, all that kind of stuff, so I understand that. So, yeah. I feel like I'm just absolutely missing. Oh, free dies on the gym store. This is last call for that. Unless they're not there anymore. And yeah, have fun, guys. That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to switch to this. Hold on. I gotta remind myself. See, there are certain things I still need to do. All that noise in the background. Show even? Yeah. You're welcome. Are we done? Did my game crash? The game crashed. So we are done. Do we have frames for that? No. All right. I'll see you guys on Thursday. So as always, I leave you with this. And Lucky too, I guess. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We're all we got. Have a great night, day, evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is. Make it great. All right? And if you're going to bed, sleep well. Get that rest. I got plenty of sleep today. I slept in a bit. All right? So you do the same. If I don't see you for the rest of January, enjoy the rest of your January. And if I don't see you for the rest of 2021, the year of gaming. Go out there, game, do what you need to do. Get it done. Play all the games. Beat them. I'll see you guys on Thursday with Burnout and other things nobody ever wants to talk about. See ya.